Salutations, my name is Tanya Allen.
And I'm Erica Alambi. Today we'll be talking about the evolution of advertisement within America up to the 1950s.
When you think about advertisement, you probably think about something that is colorful, eye-catching, and visually appealing. But the first known paid advertisement in America was nothing more than a small paragraph of text in the third issue of the Boston Newsletter in 1704.
The first time illustrations were used in advertising was during 1728 through Benjamin Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette. Ultimately, these illustrations in his Gazette attracted a large readership and led to having the most advertising among all colonial newspapers.
Try to keep in mind that the majority of the advertisements of this time period centered on land, runaway slaves, and the selling of slaves. Most American colonists gave their primary focus toward the local news and advertisements, and cared very little about foreign affairs.
During the American Revolution from 1775 to 1783, there was a big paper shortage. This shortage led to advertisers moving their ads from newspapers to posters called broadsides. As shown in the picture, broadsides were twice the size of a normal newspaper page and provided plenty of space to fill with important information.
At the start of the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution allowed for communities to grow drastically. This growth led to local merchants trying to sell their products to more people outside of their local community.
By the outbreak of the Civil War in 1865, handbill and broadside ads displayed oversized type and fancy borders. Also, testimonials became small slice-of-life snippets.
The first national advertising campaign started during the Civil War. The federal government hired an advertising agent to help sell war bonds and create posters to recruit Army volunteers.
These agents were nothing more than newspaper space salesmen. They simply found places to run advertisements within newspapers and provided no actual help in the making of the ads.
Of course, this attitude changed by the end of the century, when ad agencies became more willing to help in the creation of ads, as well as finding the best placement for them. This was the first step of the agencies in becoming allies with advertisers.
In 1885, the half-tone screen process allowed for general printing of pictures by magazines and advertisers. This then led to the first full-page advertisement in color in the American periodical Youth Companion of 1893. The color ad was such a success because it proved that it was possible to have a cheap full-page color ad in print.
Sets became an advertisement appeal and was first used by Woodbury Soap Company in 1911. Their use of sets in the copy of ads eventually led to full female nudity in their 1936 soap ad. Their ads were daringly sexual for their time.
The public found these ads to be very scandalous and were openly appalled by the sexuality that was displayed. That being said, the ad gained free promotion through word of mouth.
Woodbury quickly learned that by associating romantic fulfillment to their female customers, that sets would indeed sell. Many other advertisers soon followed their example.
Charles Goodrum and Helen Dalrymple state in their book, Advertising in America, that the government's advertising program was so innovative and the quality of its artworks were so high that it came to be the image to be copied and had a major effect on how advertising looked in the 1920s.
Another effect the war had on advertising was the perception of women's buying power. There came an assumption that 80% of all purchasing decisions were made by women. This influenced how ads were made during and after the war.
In the middle of the Great Depression in the 1930s, advertisement agencies began to question the worth of advertisements. From their doubts came the age of research and ads jammed with text.
A prime example of research came in the form of radio soap operas. Research showed that women were the primary purchasers of soap and were also the primary audience for daytime soap operas. These targeted ads were the reason why operas were sponsored by soap companies and earned their nicknames as soaps. Here is an example of a soap commercial just prior to the opera it sponsored.
For a wash that's sparkling clean with less rinsing work, use new Deep Cleaning Oxidol. With just one rinse, Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Also from the Great Depression was the Wheeler-Leah Act of 1938, which stopped ads from making false advertisements. This was a big deal because it prevented advertisers from making exaggerated claims about their products or services.
Not even a year later from the Wheeler-Lee Act, World War II propaganda began to flood America's advertisements. These advertisements led to some of the most iconic images and advertisements still known to this day.
Imagine you don't have a job, money, food, a home, and someone you love is off fighting war overseas. Also imagine that Pearl Harbor has been attacked only a few weeks ago. It was these ads that led the hearts of Americans and encouraged patriotism, evoked a need for justice, kept morality high, and gave a sense of hope.
Towards the closing of the war in 1941, the first official television commercial aired during America's favorite pastime, baseball. The commercial was a 20-second spot for Bulova Watch. Here is the commercial that aired.
America runs on Bulova time.
According to HowStuffWorks.com, the commercial had an estimated amount of 4,000 viewers. This commercial influenced today's TV dramas to strategically use television ads by breaking up high-tension scenes and by forcing viewers to sit through commercial breaks.
Another big breakthrough occurred during the year 1950 when the first political TV ad was aired for Governor Dewey of New York. According to Roger Simon on HistoryCommons.org, there were fewer than 500,000 televisions in America, and 4 years later, this expanded to 19 million. Dewey lost the election, but he was certainly ahead of his time with his political television campaign.
From the first ad made in America to the first political ad on television, every major event in American history has changed and molded advertisements into what we recognize them to be today.
I hope you enjoyed learning some history about advertisements and found our vidcast interesting and enthralling.
Thank you for your time and
Goodbye.
All the day long, whether rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie, the riveter, keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage. Sitting up there on the fuselage, that little friend can do more than American